everyone. In this tutorial, we are going to learn about the Zoom video communication app. Now, the Zoom app is a video telephony and an online chat app that can be used for teleconferencing, for telecommunication, as well as for distant education. So, what all are we going to cover in this tutorial? We are going to see how we can create a Zoom meeting and how we can join Zoom meeting. So, before this, we will see how we have to sign up for a Zoom account. Now, since all of us teachers are going to create a Zoom meeting, we all need to have a Zoom account. So you're going to see how we can do that. Now, your users or students need not have a Zoom account. They can just join a Zoom meeting even without a Zoom account. So you're going to see how to go through this procedure of creating a Zoom account and how to download the Zoom app onto our laptop or smartphone. Next, we will see how we can schedule Zoom meetings in advance. So our students are aware that there's a particular Zoom meeting at a fixed time. We will then see how we can add different students to an existing Zoom meeting once we have created it. The different ways we can go about this to get our students into our Zoom classrooms. We will then see how the different screens can be presented to the students. I mean, do I want the students to see myself explaining the concept or some screen or some presentation on a laptop? We'll see how we can do this and how we can shift between them during the Zoom meeting. We'll also see how we can view the different students that are there during the Zoom meeting and what are the different things we can do, how we can mute them, what are the things, what are the facilities are there which we can see our students and accordingly change different configurations for them. We'll also see how we can record the Zoom meeting as well as record attendance during the Zoom meeting. And we will see the other icons which are there in our Zoom app. Our first step is to download the Zoom app into our laptop. So let's go into Google and just type in Zoom. So a variety of pages will open. So we're going to select this one, the Zoom video conferencing and web conferencing. So if I click on this, it will take me to the home page of the Zoom app. So if you see here in this home page, home screen, to the top right hand corner, there's an icon saying sign up, it's free. Now the Zoom app has a free version as well as there are different paid versions which you will see under plans and pricing. For us, the free version is more than sufficient to carry out whatever you require for online teaching. But if you feel that you require some paid versions, you can still go ahead with that. So since we are signing in for the first time or signing up for the first time, you're going to click on this icon, sign up is free. If you've already done this registration process, then you can click on sign in and it will directly take you to your Zoom homepage. So let us click on this and see how we can sign up for a new account. So the first thing that will open is verification of your date of birth. So let me go ahead and enter my date of birth here. Okay, and then we say continue. So this will open the sign up page. Again, if you've come here and you already have an account, you can just come in to sign in. If not, you enter your email ID here. So one way is to enter email ID here and click on sign up, or you can also log into Google. So you can enter Gmail account or you can also log into Facebook. Any of these means, whichever you want, enter them, enter email ID or if you want here and then say sign up. Okay, so since I already have an account, I will not click on this. I will show you how it goes to the home page. If you are signing up first time, follow the instructions, enter all the details that are asked and it will create your Zoom account. Once you've completed your procedure of signing into your Zoom account, this is your Zoom homepage that will open. So this is your personal Zoom homepage which will contain all your personal information. So if you see to the right hand side, there are different icons which are here. So first you have profile. So let's see what is this. So this will contain again all your information, what you've entered during your registration. So these are what I've entered, my department, job title, affiliation to the college, all this will contain here. Now if you see here, this is your profile picture. So if you want, you can go ahead and upload a profile picture here. If you don't upload the first alphabet of your name, that will what will come here. So this is what is showing for me, which is D. So I start a Zoom meeting. This profile picture, this symbol will show during that. Okay, so we'll come next. So this is all your personal information. Let's come next to meetings. So under the meeting, there are four different headings. You have upcoming meetings, you have previous meetings, you have personal meeting room, and your meeting templates. So in personal meeting room, it will contain your personal meeting ID. If you see here, this ID, this is a unique ID that will be so different for each of us. This ID can be used for the students to enter into your classroom. Now, if you do not want to use this ID every time, you can create a different ID each time you create a Zoom meeting. So, and that has to be then shared with the user. So that is important in this personal meeting room. So coming to the first thing, that is the upcoming meetings. Now in upcoming meetings, it will have the list of your meetings which you have scheduled. So this is one meeting which I scheduled, so it is showing here. Now how do I schedule a meeting? You can click on this, schedule a new meeting, and this will now take me to the page where I can schedule my meeting. So here I want to put a topic. So let me put a topic, remove that. So let's say this is the topic of my Zoom meeting which I want to schedule. You can enter description here if you require. Now the date where I want to schedule it. So let's say I'm scheduling it for 17th, which is a Monday at 10 a.m. I'm not changing that. I'll keep that fixed. How long do I want to schedule the meeting for? So I want it for 30 minutes. So accordingly, however long you want the meeting, you schedule it. Now, if you see here, there's an option for recurring meeting. That means now the meeting what I've scheduled is for a Monday. If I want a meeting to recur every Monday, I want to recur it 17th of every month, or do I want to recur it for one whole week every day? Accordingly, I can click on recurring meeting and schedule it for that time. So this can be scheduled in advance. Now, if you see what I showed you first, my personal meeting ID, these are the two options you have. You can either create a new ID every time, which will generate automatically, or I can choose this using the same ID for all my meetings. For this meeting, what I'm scheduled. This is the password that will be required. Now here, what I've ticked here, this is waiting room. What do you mean by this? This means that now my meeting is scheduled at 10 o'clock. The students can enter your Zoom meeting before that, say at quarter to 10 or at 9:50. Before you as a host join the meeting, your students can be waiting for you. So this will be advantages that your students can enter and then wait in the room till you are actually ready to start your meeting. So you can keep this on. If you do not want this, you can just tick it off. Up to you. I preferably to keep it on. Next, do you want to display your video for the meeting? So I want to display it, so I'll keep it on. If I want to see my participants, that means my students video, again I will keep it on or off. So let me say I keep it off. Next, what are the options I want for my meeting? So I want the students to join before me, which I've kept my waiting room on for. So let me click on that. Mute participants upon entry. This is preferably good to keep on, because when the student join the meeting, if there is some noise, maybe they are not making noise, but there could be some background noise where they are, which will disturb the other participants during the meeting. So preferably to keep this off on, and record automatically. So this will record the entire meeting and save it onto my hard drive on the laptop. Okay, so once I've chosen all these things, I will say save. It will now keep my meeting schedule, which is scheduled for Monday. So if I again come back to meetings and say under my upcoming meeting, now it is showing me two meetings which are scheduled. The previous meeting will contain the list of all the previous meetings which I have held. So if you see here, these are the different meetings which are there under my account. So different meetings which have been scheduled at particular time. All that is, if I don't want, so if any time I want to delete, I can delete these particular meetings. Now, also you can link your meetings to your Google Calendar by downloading these Chrome extensions. You can also link it to your Microsoft Calendar by downloading these Microsoft plugins. So these two you can download, accordingly it will link your meetings. Under webinars, it will just contain information about what are webinars and all those things. So we won't go ahead to that. We'll go next to recordings. So whenever my meeting is recorded, it can be recorded onto a cloud platform, onto my local recording. So whatever meetings I have are recorded in this. So this will contain the list of my recorded meetings and where they are stored in my laptop and what was the Zoom ID, all that information is kept here. So this will contain the list of my recorded meetings. Under settings, it will be your different settings which you have created. Now my waiting room, what I showed when I scheduled the meeting, is always on. Why? Because under this settings it is clicked on. If I click this off, that means each time I want a waiting room, I have to manually do it. So since my settings are already showing it that, it will do. So you can go ahead and keep your settings. Now, for example, these settings which are shown here, they cannot be changed. They are at the administrative end, so we cannot modify them. For certain ones, we can modify. So these are the different icons which are there in your Zoom page. Now, this is all our online Zoom page. Now, how do we download this Zoom app onto our laptop or our smartphone? So there are two ways. If you come to this top left hand corner, if you come to this top right hand corner, you can choose any of these three options: host a meeting with video off, with video on, or share screen. Or you can come down to download and meeting clients. Any of these two options will take you to downloading the Zoom app. So let me click on this with video on. So once you click on that, this is a page which will open along with a pop-up. If I do not already have the Zoom app on my laptop, by clicking on this open Zoom meetings or clicking here download and run Zoom, any of these two options if I click on, it will proceed to download Zoom on the laptop. If it's already downloaded, it will directly take me to the Zoom app. So click on any of these, follow the process that will happen and download the Zoom app. Now the Zoom app will download on your bottom left hand corner, download will appear. Follow the settings, run the settings for that particular download. It will download the Zoom app onto your PC or your smartphone. When you open your Zoom app, this is what will be your home page. So under this set of four icons, you have the new meetings, to join an existing meeting if you're required to do that, the schedule, your Zoom schedule, as well as if you just want to share your screen. So let's start a new meeting. You want to start a new meeting? Let's go. So again, if I drop down this arrow, I can start with video where I want to use my personal ID. These options are there. If you don't want that, you can directly just click on this icon, start a new meeting, and it will go ahead. So since the video was on, when the meeting starts, as you can see me on the screen, the video is on. Okay, so once the meeting is connected, it's still connecting. Once the meeting is connected, you will see the icons that appear to the bottom of this screen. Okay, so let me put my video off first. Okay, so when you join the Zoom meeting, this is a box that will open. It will say ask you whether you want to join with a computer audio or if you want to test your speaker or microphone. That means if you want to join to a Bluetooth headphones, you have a mic, you have some other special speakers. If you want to test all of that, you can click on this. So let's say I click on this and I go ahead to test what is this. So it will ask me, can I hear this ringtone? So it's testing my speakers. So since I can hear it, I will say yes. Okay, so I'm using my computer audio speakers for that. So if I have more than one, I can drop this down and accordingly select what I want to select and use. Okay, so go ahead, do that. Again, now I'm testing the microphone. So if I say something, it will play back onto my speaker. I should be able to hear it. So if you can hear it, say yes. And then say join with computer audio. So whichever audio you want to use, you can go ahead and do that. Once I've done this, again I click on this. So now my meeting is under progress. So let's see what are the different icons that are there. Now first you can go for full screen. If you see here to the top right hand corner, you can select full screen, which I have done. So the entire screen is now your video app. So coming to the different icons, we'll start from the bottom left hand corner. The first option is to mute. So if I click on this, you see a red strike will appear across the icon. This means I am muted now. So whatever I am saying is not going to the students who are going to listen to it because I am muted. So this is important. Suppose during a meeting you require to mute yourself for some reason, you can just click on that. So let me unmute myself. Now if you see here, there's an arrow here which again gives me different options. So again, if I want to change my microphone, I want to change my speaker during your meeting, you can go ahead and do that. You can also test your speakers. Say your students saying they cannot hear you, or you cannot hear from your speakers what your students are saying. You can test your speakers again during the meeting. Plus, you can change your other audio settings. The next was your video. So initially you could see me on the screen. Since I put it off, what is displayed is my profile image, which I showed you under my settings. I did not have an image. So what is showing is the first letter of my first alphabet of my name. So if I put a profile picture there, that is what will appear on the screen here when your video is off. Again, if I click this arrow, if I want, I can also display myself with some virtual background. If you can go ahead and do that, and you can also change your settings under this. So these two regard to you whether you want to mute yourself or your participants. Sorry, or the start your video or end your. Don't want to display yourself on the screen. Now coming next to participants. So if you see it is just showing one participant because it's just me in the Zoom meeting at the moment. So if I click on this participants, a box will open, a white box to the right hand side. So again it is just showing me because I'm the only participant in this. If you have all your students in your meeting, their list of names will appear at this point on this screen. Now if I want to add some participants to this, I can click on invite here. See on this white part of the screen, the bottom, there's invite. I can click on this and I can take me to inviting students. Also under participants, if I click on this arrow, it will again give me the option to invite. So to any one of this, if I click on this is a box that will open to invite people. So if I already have the list of my students, I can enter it here and directly I can ask him to join the meeting. Or I can also invite them to email. The default email is the email which you have put when you have your set up your Zoom account. You can also choose some other Gmail ID which you have or to a Yahoo Mail ID and invite. You can also copy the invitation link and email it to your students personally along with the meeting ID. Do not forget this. This is also important. It's not just your invitation link, but you also require this meeting ID. Or you can also copy this invitation and WhatsApp it to your students. So once you've done that, your students have entered their code, they will join a meeting and their name list will appear here. Now here, apart from invite, there's an option to mute all. If I mute all lists, everybody will get muted, all your students will get muted. So if I click on this is the box that will open. Now if you see here, there's an option, allow participants to unmute themselves. So this is up to you. If you do not want your students to speak anything during a meeting, you can keep this box tick. Or if you want them to ask questions during the meeting rather than at the end of the meeting, you can untick this box. So once you've done that, say yes, the participants will now be muted, except you. The host will not be muted, only the participants will be muted. I see here there are these three dots. These are giving more options. What else we can do to the students? Now if you see here, the first is ask all to unmute. So if you put this, probably at the end of the meeting when you want everyone to unmute, you can keep this option. Mute participants upon entry. This is again important. Why? Because if the student joins late after a meeting has started and there is some noise that is happening, the other students in the meeting may get disturbed. So you can keep this option on. Allow participants to unmute themselves. Since I've not allowing this, it is showing tick. That's up to you if you want to do that. Allow participants to rename themselves. That will just will not know who if it's your student or somebody else if they rename themselves. Now play sound when someone joins or leaves. Again, what this does is when a student or participant joins a meeting, it will play some sound like a bell sound or some other sound that will alert you that somebody has joined the meeting or somebody has left the meeting. So again, this is up to you whether you want to keep this on. Enable waiting room, which is kept on, and lock meeting. Now, what do you mean by lock meeting? Once I lock the meeting, no participant can join the meeting. Let us say there's a student who could not join the meeting which I scheduled at 10 o'clock and I want to join at say 10:05. If I kept this on, the meeting is locked at 10 o'clock. They can no longer join this meeting. So if you prefer that option, you can keep this on. So these are all the things under participants. So let me now disclose this. Let's come to the next one, which is chat. So again, if I click on chat, it will pop up in a white screen to the right side of my Zoom meeting. So under this, all the chats, any message that has been sent by you or your students will appear in this screen. So again, if I come to the bottom part of the screen, again I can put some settings for this. Now if I click on this, everyone is written here. If I drop down this arrow, So if we come to the bottom of the screen, if you see us written everyone, so if I drop down this arrow, this will tell you who can chat in your meeting. So I have the option that everyone can chat. Now if I want to change this, if you see here these three dotted lines, again I can click on that. So these are your different options who you can allow to chat. So first is no one. That means neither you as a host nor your students can chat on during the Zoom meeting. If I choose host only, that is only me as the host can chat. No message can come from the students. Everyone publicly means whatever message has been typed either by me or students can be visible to all. Whereas the last one, it is everyone publicly and privately. That means the students can also message each other privately without you as a host knowing what they are messaging. Or you can also message a student privately without everyone in your group or everyone in your Zoom meeting knowing that. Similarly, a student can message you privately without others in the group knowing that. So depending on what you want, select that particular option. Under this, you can also share a file with the students. So I click on this either for my Dropbox, for my Drive, Google Drive, or for my laptop itself. I can share some file with the students. And since I've kept the option to everyone, everybody can get. So say I have a PDF file or the presentation itself, what I'm going to show, I can share it with the students through this way. So again, let's close this, go next. Next, you have share screen. So if I again click on this arrow, again I can choose how I want to share. If I want to share, one participant can share a screen, multiple participants can share that. If you want your students also to share a screen, you can go ahead and select the second option. Now if I click on this share screen, this pop-up box will open. Now if you see to the top, there are three options. You have basic, advanced, and you have files. So under basic, it will show all the screens that are open on your laptop. So under mine, these are the different screens which are open. So I have a presentation, my folder which is open, the app that I'm using to record this video, all that is open. So that is showing. It will also give you this option of whiteboard. So if I click on this whiteboard, it will give me the option to write something. If I want to write maybe some equation, some formula, if I want to write, I can go ahead and open the whiteboard and enter that. Now if I want to select whatever I want to select, I choose that. Let's say I want to this presentation which I have open, I then say share. So once you do that, whatever video was or whatever was on will close and your presentation will open. So you see to the top, these are different apps, icons which are there in the Zoom meeting that will remain, and also give you the option here to stop sharing. So if I want to stop sharing, I can go ahead and stop sharing. If I want to continue, I have my PowerPoint open now. I can click on this and share, start the PowerPoint presentation. Okay, and once you finish this, you want to go back to your screen which you have, you then say stop share. Okay, it will come back to your Zoom screen. So that way you can share. So again, let's go back to this. So those are under basic. Under next, you have advanced. If you want to share just a portion of your screen with your students, not the entire screen, maybe some portion where your video is displayed along with you, demonstrator explaining something, you can do that. You can just share music, some music or some audios with them. You can also share something from a second camera. Say you have there are two people who are going to present. You want to share it from the second camera at that particular time. You can go ahead and do that. So once you select any icon, you have to then click on share. Only then it will be shared. You can also share files here. This is another way where you can share files with the students. Again, from your Dropbox, your Microsoft Drive, Google Drive, or also from my laptop, I can go ahead and share that particular thing. So once you have the particular file, you click on share, that screen will be shared with the student. Next, you have the option to record. So if I click on this option, it will start recording the meeting. So this record will show on the top left hand corner. So if I want to pause anytime or stop anytime during the meeting, I can stop. And this will be shared onto my, this will be saved onto my hard disk of the laptop. Next, you have that option of reaction. So say during a meeting, you want to show some action of clapping or thumbs up, you can show that. Now these are my options as the host. If I'm joining a Zoom meeting, I have an additional options. Your students will have an additional option to raise hand. Now, if I come to the participants, the list of participants, let me close this. The list of participants is showing only me. It will have the list of all my students. The students have an option to raise hand, which will appear at the side of the name as an icon, blue icon, raised hands. So that will alert you that some student maybe has some query or some question. So that option you can keep on. So if you keep that option on, you can see where a student has raised hand, and accordingly you can then deal with the query of that of particular student. So that is particularly important if you have mute all option on here. So the student can raise their hand to alert you if there's something which is going on. So after you finish with all your Zoom meeting, you need to close it. So you click this option of end. So there are two options here. If I say end meeting for all, the meeting will close. You are out from the Zoom meeting along with your students. Whereas if I just click on leave meeting, it will just exit me as the host out from a meeting. It will leave the students probably to discuss if they need to discuss something further or to talk among themselves about whatever concept you have taught. You can leave them into the meeting for that. So that is up to you what you want to choose. So since I'm exiting the meeting for all, I will click on this. So this is how you can go about with your Zoom app. Okay, now since I recorded it, this is how it is recording. So it is converting it to a file and it will save onto my laptop. So hope you understood how you can create a Zoom meeting for yourself. All the best. If any queries, you can contact me. I'm Daniel Coutinho from the Department of Chemistry, Kamal College. Have a nice day and be safe.